All right, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Big Fry, and today I want to talk more New World. This is an MMO that has been very controversial in terms of changes they've been making, pulling out open world, full loot PvP, and now we have a post from the main game director, Scott Lane, about the current state of New World. It was a letter to the community that was released yesterday. I'm going to go through it here and talk about some of the features that they're discussing. So basically, he says they've been live for over a month now in their latest alpha build. He kind of shouts out a couple of the players who, found a way to claim territories outside of a play space, basically bug finders and people that are putting in work, which I always appreciate. So he says on March 5th, we released a major game update called Factions at War, which introduces compelling new PvP experiences that we believe to be core to our game. If you guys need a history update on what this game is, consider clicking the playlist down below. That has all of my New World videos. If you guys do want to check them out, go get caught up, and then you can find out why I'm so hyped about this game, but still a little bit skeptical in some other features that they're talking about. But basically, players will now have more control over actions leading into company versus company war by completing missions that require PvP flagging as opposed to simply declaring war. Now, for those who aren't caught up, that probably just sounds like a lot of jumbled words that don't make a lot of sense. So the biggest point of contention for this game is the fact that in the early alphas, they pulled out open world full loot PvP. So it was almost like a survival game in a sense. You basically dropped everything that you had, I believe, in your inventory, not the stuff that you had equipped, but it was like a risk reward thing. If you wanted to go out into this world, you risked players, ganking you and ganging up on you and taking your shit. Now they've pulled that out. They've reverted that because they found that players, like the majority of their alpha testers, weren't actually enjoying it. You have a vocal crowd of people who want that back in there. And I think this is now kind of the middle ground. So there are going to be missions that you can complete for your guild or your company that you have to be flagged for PvP to do these PvP inspired missions, which I think is a good middle ground. It gives them the reason to play, essentially. Before, the players were talking about, like, there's no risk reward, there's no reason to go out into the world. They like that high risk gameplay, and to do these missions that can actually help out the PvE crowd with the guild and the company and the towns and all the stuff we've talked about in the past. That's actually a really good compromise, in my opinion. Now, granted, I'm a PvE guy, so the PvP changes reverting to the way they are now actually suit me, but I understand that there are always two sides or multiple opinions about every game. So for the PvP crowd that wanted the open world full loot PvP back, feel free to leave a comment down below and let me know what you guys think. So they say this puts more power in the hands of the player as opposed to company leaders and creates a fun race between the factions along the way to war. So, hey, in my opinion, it's a pretty good compromise. Now, there were rumors that they were actually planning on bringing back this open world full loot PvP system. In this letter to the community, he basically confirms that it is never going to come back, or they say they have no plans. He says, I've seen the discussions and want to be transparent and clear that we have no plans to bring back open world full loot PvP. The vision is a world where PvP and PvE players can coexist and complement each other. And this is where kind of my main concern for the game comes from, is I'm a PvE player. I like dungeons and raiding and playing things with my community. I'm glad they have the company system in place, or essentially the guild system, with like missions to help build and kind of like blow up your territory from help from all of your guild mates, essentially. But what are we working towards? And that's kind of what my video the other day was talking about. If you guys, again, click the playlist, watch all of my New World content if you guys want to get caught up on my opinion of this game. We're currently trying to decide what faction we're going to be going with. I'm leaning towards the Marauders or the Syndicate, but we're going to be having discussions in my Discord. I'm now opening up a channel to discuss everything New World. I hope that this game doesn't turn out like Bless Online. That was like the last big MMO that I was kind of like, all right, like let's try and play it and see and maybe try to be excited for it. And it literally just blew up in everybody's faces. I'm hoping that with Amazon backing it, and I'm praying to the MMO gods that we can get something of a Western MMO that's actually fun to play, that has enough content to keep us going, and hopefully they begin to lay out their plans for future expansions and how they're going to be dropping content. We know the World of Warcraft method of dropping new raids and dungeons and expansions. Blizzard, in my opinion, as much as we can talk shit about them, the World of Warcraft team are some of the best at gauging and dripping content. Now, in recent years, their content's been it's been going downhill, but I like to think back to like the glory days of like Wrath of the Lich King, Cataclysm era, where they were just banging the content, and I want another experience like that again. The last MMO that I played that wasn't World of Warcraft that I personally enjoyed was WildStar, and WildStar was brutal. When it got to the end game, it essentially turned into a gatekeep with that game, where the attunement process for getting into raids, and you had to do it for like 40 different people. It was insane. But I loved what they were doing with that world and the world building. That's ex-World of Warcraft guys from back in vanilla days. I don't really know what to expect with this game still. I'm trying to keep a positive outlook because it is a Western MMO backed with a company that I think has enough money to actually ingest into this ecosystem and take on a game like World of Warcraft. That's like my hope. My hope is so high, but the skeptical, cynical Big Fry is kind of starting to creep in, being like, all right, where are they fucking this up? The PvE content is where I think they're going to be lacking the most. From everything I've read and seen from guys who have had hands-on with a PC gamer, IGN, it seems like they're claiming that this game is a more PvP-focused game, at least in terms of the end game and what the game is building towards. And if that's the case, okay. I just hope that it's good. At the end of the day, just make a good game, and I think my community can rally behind it. Let me know what you guys think down below. Leave a comment. If you guys enjoy these videos, consider subscribing or at least leave a like on it. Let me know if you guys enjoyed it, or leave a dislike if you didn't enjoy it. My name is Big Fry. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.